The summer transfer window might not be open, but for us at EPL News, it's full on business because we know that teams are already making their moves and plotting what to do, especially with the World Cup just on the horizon. Getting straight into all the talk, Victor. Eduardo Camavinga of Real Madrid is on the market, and the Spanish giants are finally open to selling him. Do you think there are some Premier League sides that can benefit from the player?
I would say yes, especially Man United. They're already certain of losing Casemiro. Manuel Ugarte is very likely on his way out as well. Although let's face it, that's not a huge loss. They will need to go in and get a number six this summer, and I think Camavinga can play there quite well. It will be interesting to see the sort of transfer fee that Real want for him. But if United can do a deal for 30 or 40 million, I would say go for it. It wouldn't be as good as getting Chouameni, for instance, but I still think Camavinga can do a proper job for United.
Interesting. Max, I wonder what you think about that. But anyways, over to Arsenal. Arsenal, according to reports, are reportedly planning a bid for Newcastle winger Anthony Gordon as Mikel Arteta shifts his strategy towards boosting his English score, and the player is expected to cost somewhere around £75 million. Do you think this is a player the Gunners need at the moment?
I mean, do you really need a winger from like 14th place team to the title winning probably side? And it just feels like the price is a bit too high. I just don't see him making a huge difference in the squad. Like, I wouldn't say that he's much better than Martinelli, honestly, but Martinelli was terrible this season at least. I just feel like you can find a better option for that price actually, and even in Prem. So I wouldn't say that he really fits Arsenal. So I wouldn't go for that if I'm Arteta. But what do I know? The guy's probably bottling another title, so who knows?
Right. And yeah, back to you, Victor. Manchester City have formally asked Pep Guardiola, to clarify the length of this contract, whether he intends to see it out. And many of their summer targets are also waiting to see what Guardiola does with his future. How would this impact City's transfer plans if Guardiola leaves or stays?
Yeah, it's a big factor for them as a club, but also for players looking to join them because, like how it was at Liverpool a couple of years ago, the coach is a big pull for their transfer targets. It's easier for the club to convince a top player to join if they dangle in front of him the prospect of working under someone like Pep as opposed to Enzo Maresca. I don't think Pep leaves this summer, meaning there's at least one more season. As far as I'm hearing, he might not sign an extension though, so next season would be the last one. If they are planning any big moves over the next 18 months, let's say, they should bring everything forward to this summer if finances allow for it.
Interesting take. And then back to you, Max. Despite ongoing tensions between Enzo Fernandez and Chelsea, according to reports, the Blues are still willing to give him a new contract to word of interest from Real Madrid, PSG, and Bayern Munich. And don't forget that the player is currently on an 8-year deal at the moment. So do you think this is the right call or not from the club?
I mean, first of all, you already have 6 years contract left with him, and also you all saw that like he's not really willing to play for Chelsea anymore. He's talking about any club, but not about Chelsea at the moment, and it just feels like we already saw that type of moments when player make sure everybody's clear that he is not willing to play for the club, and then he leaves anyway. So it kind of feels like you better sell him at the moment while he has a price on him, and just forget about him and find a new player because you cannot make player play for your club if he's not willing to do so. That's simple as it is.
Yeah, fair point. And just on the final note, Victor, Liverpool are making plans to sign Atalanta defender Marco Palestra this summer. The 21-year-old is viewed as both a depth option and a long-term option and could cost somewhere around £39 million. Do you think this is a player the Reds should be looking at?
It's quite a dilemma for Liverpool at right back, isn't it? You have two players, both, to me at least, outstanding in their own right, Connor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong, but both have big problems staying fit. Even before this season, if you look at Connor Bradley, there were always bouts of injuries or just things preventing him from playing constantly. Palestra also has a different profile to them. He's more solid defensively, and for better or worse, he has been quite sturdy injury wise, at least this season. I would say yes, they should go for someone like him, but not for this sort of fee. This is more than they paid for Frimpong. And that was a much more high profile transfer. If it's for around 20, 25 million, that would make more sense. But for 40, thanks, but no thanks.
Well, we'll have to see how that one goes. But one thing is more than evident. Liverpool do need to make some signings this summer, but it's interesting to see how much they will spend, especially after how much they spent last
Yeah.
summer. So that will be one to keep an eye out for sure. But yeah, these are some of the best transfer news making the round. And before our next episode, when we meet, we'll be sure to give you all the latest that have made the rounds as usual. So stay tuned.